Asante kwa kuheshima kina mama, na mama amefanya heshima kuheshimu wa Kenya. Thank you so much. Nyinyi ndio mlituzaa. Mbarikiwe sana Elachi. Rejo Shabes. Nani nimewacha nje board member? Ford Kenya Simba. Wiper iko ndani? Bas, hakuna ingine nimeacha. For Amanda Wakau. I had a list. Which I written, but when I met the Prime Minister, I was excited I lost the list. So forgive me, please. So all of you are welcome. Mheshimiwa tuko tumemaliza kazi. I think it's my humble duty to exit most of us and let the Prime Minister address us. And Mheshimiwa Mkubwa, if you have time, you can field a question or two because I know you are a courageous man. You will talk to. Well, utazungumza tu kwani watadu?
What? Haya. Viongozi wa vyama vyote vya Kenya, hamjambo? Hamjambo tena. Kwanza naanza kwa kuomba msamaha that I was delayed. First, where I was coming from Mombasa. Secondly, the other function which was supposed to precede this and was just supposed to be half an hour ended up taking much longer. Those ladies did not want to leave me. I don't think it was out of love. I think they just wanted to exploit me. But now, I responded to the invitation by my friend, Omingo Magara, who kept on pestering me, saying that the CMD is organizing a very big function. It was a 3-day event, culminating with handshake on the 9th of March. So I'm bringing to you here greetings from my partner, Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta. The first thing we did this morning at 6 o'clock, we rang each other and say, happy first anniversary. So I'm happy that other Kenyans are also happy to celebrate today. I have a few comments that I want to make, I'll refer to, and as Domingo said, I may also answer some questions. But on this day, 1 year ago, we made history as a country when President Uhuru Kenyatta and I shook hands to end the deadly standoff that followed last elections. It was a development that took many by surprise and shock. But it was not out of blues, nor was it a cosmetic, erratic move. It took a painstaking effort and hours of honest discussions, at the end of which, with the guidance of God and the desire of greater national good, we agreed to end the standoff and put the nation on the path to sustainable peace and development. Let me take this opportunity to thank Kenyans for their overwhelming positive reaction and support to our decision to work together to set Kenya on a path towards lasting unity and meaningful reconciliation. In the 12 months that have been, I have been humbled by the warm words of congratulations that have been passed to us from far and wide. I continue to commit myself to ensure this chance for a rebirth of the Kenyan dream is not wasted. The handshake was driven by personalities, namely President Uhuru Kenyatta and myself. It was not a personal affair. It was and remains an act of statesmanship and is today firmly a property of the nation. It was meant to heal the wounds which have been exposed by decades of bitter animosity, stirred by unhealthy political competition. It remains understandable that there has been anxiety in certain quarters about our rapprochement. It is equally understandable that there was misapprehension about the nature of the partnership. That needs to end now. A year is long enough for those who mean well for Kenyans to understand that we acted in the best interest of our nation. We finally have a sound and a sober environment within which to discuss our problems like corruption, tribalism, divisive elections, governance, among other issues. But we must admit that the handshake continues to have enemies. Those who would rather remain divided, those who have invested in corruption and politics of blackmail, they hate the handshake. But we must soldier on. I continue to press Kenyans to realize that the handshake deal was unlike any they have witnessed in the past, and they should not use old parameters and maps to try and define it. This is not a short-term engagement, nor is it about any individuals. So don't seek quick gains or seek individual gains from it. The handshake is an effort to reboot the Project Kenya and birth a new nation in which all citizens feel a keen sense of belonging and in which, despite our dazzling diversity, everyone pulls in the same direction, aiming at a better future for the country. It is an attempt to interrogate our political culture and to rethink the way the Kenyan political system is structured so that we ensure, as we see in many of our brother countries on the continent, such as Ghana and South Africa, that elections in future become an event that does not sunder communities and families, threaten lives, and trigger economic stagnation. In the handshake, we bravely acknowledge the need for a change of direction. We intend it to be an opportunity for a frank discussion about the questions that have bedeviled Kenya since independence. These include, but are not limited to, issues of inclusion, of corruption, of constitutionalism and fairness in the distribution of resources. Going forward, we intend it to be more inclusive and should include a wider cross-section of the population as possible. Already, there is ongoing dialogue spearheaded by the BBI team. The BBI, that's the Building Bridges Initiative team, dialogue is taking the shape of the inclusive process of stakeholder consultation which birthed the 2010 Constitution, of which all Kenyans are justly proud, but which, like all the national laws, may be subject to improvement if Kenyans express the will for that. On this anniversary, I appeal to Kenyans to spare time and air their views to the BBI team as it traverses the country on what future they want to see. Revamping the Project Kenya cannot be a top-down process in which leaders impose their views on wananchi. The first step, that the handshake, was an important effort to rally the nation beyond the desire for unity and to chart a new path for Kenya. The next phase is on through the BBI listening to us, to hear the views of Kenyans, but also to demonstrate in word and deed, in trips across the country, that a new dawn is here and the time has come to heal, restore, and to revitalize our beloved country. The team is next scheduled to visit Vihiga, Busia, and Kakamega counties, and we urge residents of those counties to make sure their voices are heard. The pursuit of unity and social cohesion is in earnest. It is a journey in which all Kenyans of goodwill should invest. Let me just add that Kenyans know where they're coming from. And Kenyans know also the destination. Because the dream, the Kenyan dream, is coined in our national anthem. God bless this land of ours. Justice be our shield and defender. May we dwell in unity, peace and liberty. Plenty be found within our borders. That is what the founding fathers of our nation willed and wanted. A country that is God-fearing, a country where there's democracy. That's why justice is a shield and a defender. And then a country where people are united. People are not being discriminated on the basis of their ethnicity, the basis of their race, the basis of their gender, neither on the basis of their religion or age. And then the other one is peace, a peaceful country where there are no ethnic clashes, where people don't come and rob your animals, where people don't come and kill you at night or mug you at night. And then liberty. People are liberated completely. But finally, plenty is found within our borders. And that, as I've said before, that plenty is not going to come to us like manna from heaven. It must be through the sweat and toil of our people. So opportunity must be created for our people to create that wealth. And how do we do it? By empowering our people, giving our children proper education, making sure that our people can access health care when they are sick, irrespective of whether they have money or they don't have money. And the other one, giving people opportunity to create wealth, to work, sweat, and create wealth. To me, that is how we can get plenty within our borders. And those who have read the Bible, the country where there's plenty, where there's flowing with manna and honey, is Canaan. And that's why we talked about a journey to Canaan. We want to take our people to Canaan. Because that is what our founding fathers wanted. A country where there's plenty. There's no shortage. So if you want, you'll get. So this is why we must work towards that journey. And I said, when we were on our journey to Canaan, we found River Jordan full of crocodiles. So when I met with my brother, I told him, let us build bridges so that we can cross River Jordan and enter Canaan together. And that's why we are talking about building bridges initiative. Building bridges that link all the Kenyan people. All different, 45 different communities come together as one people. All our children are happy among themselves. The youth have opportunities wherever they are, irrespective of their origins. Where if a youth goes to do an interview, the name does not become a curse or a blessing. Irrespective of your origin, you are a Kenyan. This is what we want. This is what we wish. And this is what we agreed with my brother Uhuru Kenyatta. This is the meaning of the Building Bridges Initiative. I thank you for listening to me.
I didn't find those on hearty and warm claps. He was in Mombasa. He respected the ladies, our wonderful mothers. He has respected us. Now, this is what I wanted. You know, I can tell my choir to sing and then you'll be out of, you'll not be here. Now, please, we want to take 3 questions. Only for those who have not spoken. And you know them. Now, listen. The former Prime Minister doesn't have endless time. And as we were told earlier, discipline starts with our time management. Now, one from here. I don't know what is spoken. Yeah, it's not spoken. Katikati hapa. Gender. Yes. Now somebody help us with the mic. Oh no, we start with where? Yeah, you're not the one. Please. Now listen. You make it short, sharp, and sweet. Otherwise, I'll stop you.
Okay. Good morning, Excellency. My name is Andraza. I'm a Christian. Kenya is the springboard of revival. Therefore, the church needs to come together for it to create an impact to the world. It's not a matter of politics, but it's a matter of the church coming together to make Africa to become one and the entire world at large. And when you become president in 2022, I just pray that you may form a body that can define the church, can put the church into one, so that the church can make an impact. And on corruption, I'm saying this, the people accused of corruption, they should be first of all, freeze their accounts. And secondly, they should step out of office. And thirdly, they should face prosecution as any other man or Kenyan. And lastly, on the IBC, I believe the government controls the IBC. The IBC is not an independent body. So therefore, the sitting government and the IBC, that's one body. So they should form another body to watch over the IBC and the elections so that we could not be doing PE the time of elections.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
You. Number 2, the lady. Please also say your name. The former Prime Minister can know you.
Thank you. I'm Cynthia Baraka, an elected student leader at the Technical University of Kenya, taking international relations and diplomacy. So, Your Excellency, Raila, the Baba of Comrades, you've said about youth given an opportunity. So currently in my institution, we are going for attachments, and we've seen a lot of comrades going to various offices, and they are not given the opportunity. What do you think can be done? And as I can see bright government and company faces here, what can you do to help a comrade like me to help a comrade? Thank you.
You've spoken. Thank you very much. My name is Langat Matthew, and I come, Honorable Prime Minister, I come from a region where half of elected leaders are computer generated, and the remaining half are psychophants. They speak no evil, they see no evil in what is happening. There is a lot of impunity happening in our community, and farmers have been crying for the last 2 years. They have not been paid. And when dam scandal comes over, they defend themselves. They tribalize a fight against corruption. And for the first time in this country, in our history, we should congratulate our DPP office and DCI for doing the good job. So my question is, our Prime Minister, our farmers have been crying, they have not been paid, and this year, unfortunately, they don't have a subsidized fertilizer. with the spirit of handshake, Prime Minister, can we at least do something to our farmers so that they can get subsidized fertilizers? Thank you.
I think let them take the first three. We will say, the other thing we need to do after dialoguing is to shake hand with the Prime Minister and take a photo. You are going to waste the time now. Hold on. Let the Prime Minister take those first three, then we take one round if he allows.
Number one is the question of the gentleman there did not say his name, but first he's talking about 2022, and I've said we don't want to talk about 2022. Because I have not even said that I want to run for president in 2022. That is, but then secondly, he talked of the unity of the church. I agree totally that there's need for church, because you have got different denominations in church, but then you need to have a unity because all the churches are using the same Bible. The different denominations here and there. So that there should be a bigger unity so that they are conveying the same message to the folk, goes without questioning. They were about corruption, and yes, and that the IBC, as you know, that IBC is currently under review by Parliament. I therefore don't want to get involved in that discussion. Not that it is sub judice, but I don't want to prejudice what they are talking about in Parliament. Cynthia, yes, the youth should get opportunity. And she's saying the youth are not getting opportunity. She feels very frustrated. And I sympathize with that totally. That instead of recycling the old guards, we should give the youth opportunity. The only area where I disagreed was when Mzee was offered opportunity to just chair a board, which was just doing gratis, using his own experience, where some youth had actually failed. To just chair a board, there was a lot of noise, as if that was a job that somebody was actually earning some salary. But he was just trying to protect the money for the benefit of the youth only. That's where I actually disagreed. Matthew, yes, Matthew is talking about computer chicks. Vifaranga vya computer. Sijui nani alisema hiyo. Nani anaongeja hiyo, lakini sasa watu wengine wanasema hawa ni vifaranga vya kuku, vifaranga vya kompyuta. Ni kweli ya kwamba tuko na shida in a number of other areas and different areas. You find a situation where you've got the pastoralists are having serious problems with water, with pasture, despite the fact that a lot of money has been given for dam constructions. We have then the issue of the farmers who are not being paid, particularly the maize farmers. But also the coffee farmers have had problems in the past. Even the tea farmers have also had problems in the past. Now, there are problems which are understandable, but there are problems which are man-made, which can be corrected. Like this issue regarding maize is an artificial problem created and which can be solved. You can say it's just a way we are fighting against corruption. You can also deal with this issue in that context and have a permanent solution to it. Because permanent solution is not just by giving farmers some kind of handouts. Farmers don't want that handouts. because farmers are capable people. You see, they say that if I'm hungry today and I come to you and then you give me fish which is cooked, I will eat and be satisfied. But tomorrow I will be hungry again. But if you teach me how to fish, then you've given me permanent food. So most of those farmers don't want fish which has been cooked. They want to be able to fish themselves. So, you know, this animal called corruption, it rears its ugly head all the times. And you can see all the times the guilty are afraid. They begin to accuse other people. Accusing so on. So this thing is targeting certain communities. I've said before that this war does not target anybody or any community. It only targets individuals. You cannot go and fabricate evidence against somebody. Even if you do, the case will collapse in the courts. Because as Maraga has said, they will only deal with the cases on the basis of evidence provided. So allow the investigative authorities to collect evidence, do proper investigations, so that if they take somebody to court, they have evidence to prosecute. But if there's no evidence and you are being targeted, the case will collapse. So what are you fearing? You have nothing to fear. Wacha wale wachini wachunguze na wapeleke ushahidi mbele ya mahakama. That's how you can deal with this animal called corruption. So the less said, the better. But there's always too much noise. In the funerals, leo ni Jumamosi, ni siku yao. Wanakwenda kupiga kelele mingi zaidi. Ni kama kubeka kwa chura. Ngurumo ya chura hawezi kuzuia ng'ombe kunywa maji. Chura ananguruma pale, ng'ombe anakunywa maji tu. Akimaliza anakojoa ndani ya maji hiyo. Thank you.
Can you take one more round? I don't want to be harassed. Now, we will take now the last round.
Okay.
The last round and the gracious, not animebeni nikimwangalia.
Sawa. Niko hapa.
Chupa Churchill.
I'll take him. And Suba has been mentioned, so I'll give him a chance.
Oh, okay.
I go to Suba. The Suba first.
Okay, because you're amesimama, but make it short, sweet, and sharp.
Okay. Thank you, Your Excellency. I'm Suba Churchill, presiding convener of the Civil Society Reference Group. Now, Your Excellency, in 2013, the 10th Parliament passed a law, the Public Benefit Organizations Act, that was meant to repeal the NGO Coordination Act. To date, as we speak, 6 years down the road, the wisdom, the insights of those members of Parliament, where His Excellency, the President, the Deputy President, and everybody else, including the Honorable who is sitting next to you, are members, that law has not been gazetted so that it can start working. We are pleading with you as a sector that is the only law that can provide a layer of protection for freedoms of association, assembly, and expression that civil society thrive on. Could you, Your Excellency, be our intercessor and plead with your counterpart in the handshake so that once and for all we can unlock this blockade on the PBO Act?
Now, please, bail me out. Because you told that gentleman to stand here dialoguing.
Yeah.
I persuade you because I was told to take 3. But in the interest of gender, let him ask a question.
And then a lady.
Give me a young lady.
On that side.
There's a reason why I'm saying that. a young lady, and I'm reserving a special slot for our international guests if they have any questions or worries about our nation. International guest. A young youth lady. A lady, that gentleman. Oh, disability. No, ngoja basi. Baba ataangalia kama atakuangalia nafasi. Baba atachagua. That gentleman, this lady, let me pick international guest. International guest. Sorry, heshima bwana. Any of our international guests, hold on, Baba. Hold your horse. Hold. Any international.
Guys, we said respect. Let's organize.
Anyone?
We have that lady, we have this gentleman, and then we have one international guest.
That gentleman is there. Great.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. I've got only 3 questions I want to ask the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga.
Your name.
My name is James Maina. Na ningetaka kumuuliza swali moja whether he is aware or he is not aware, I want him to tell us. Does the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga know that if somebody is sacked from the government, there are only 2 people or 2 tribes in this country whereby somebody can be sacked, that is a rule, and the Kikuyu, and there will be no noise from their communities. Are you aware of that? That is the question. The other question is about this. Oh, about the sensitivity of the gender. Are we going to allow women to be 1 land or 2 lands without allowing people to choose, or we are just going to collect fools of women and we put them there simply because they have got the skirts?
No, that is a bit.
Question.
That is
what is going to be the criteria?
All right.
Order.
As I go down.
You are protected and defended by myself as the chair of the board.
Hello.
Can you respect the international guest, please? Aseme Mogeni akaribishwe.
Hello, my name is Martin Petersen, and I come from Danish Institute of Political Parties and Democracy. First of all, I would like to congratulate CDM Kenya and all of you for being here, for contributing to a wonderful dialoguing sessions. And I think this has really been a great achievement for Kenya and for the democracy in Kenya. My question is more related on the issues on inclusion. We have seen many, we have heard many testimonies from women here, from youth here, that they would like to promote inclusion. We have heard about the lack of the women who should be represented in various as MPs. We've heard about the 2/3 rule, and still there could be room for improvement. So, any suggestions in terms of how we can promote inclusion in Kenya would be wonderful.
Okay, a wonderful lady, please.
Good day. My name is Miss Ndoto, and I would like to know, is Kenya a democracy or a republic? We are the Republic of Kenya, not the democracy of Kenya. So who is pushing this agenda, democracy? Is it the West? Are they trying, is it easier for them to control our resources and us as a people under a democratic style of government? Thank you.
Now, before the former Prime Minister answers the question, as a speaker of this forum now, understanding order number 1, the second question of minor is completely out of order. And the Prime Minister, do not, Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable, order members, order. Can you, Honorable Minor, Minor, withdraw. Do you want to withdraw? Withdraw the second question. Withdraw the second question.
All right. Hey, hello.
Sawa.
It's fine, it's fine. I'm going to tell him to withdraw. He has to withdraw, right?
He has withdrawn. Okay, wacha naye.
Because sour. So let's relax. Let's allow the questions to be answered, please.
I think first. I've got. I think first the first question was by Suba Churchill, and this is to do with implementing an act of parliament which has already been passed and is lying dormant, and therefore those who are supposed to benefit from its implementation are suffering. As you know, I'm not in government, but I have some latitude, and to the extent that I can use my influence, I will try to do so. So just Maina, first, I'm not aware that there are only 2 tribes who can be, whose citizens can be sacked, and nobody makes noise. That is news to me. I know that noise are made all over the place. I think what we want in this country is the issue of inclusion, which is part of the question that was asked by Peterson. How do we ensure that there's inclusion in our country? But before I come to that, I think you're being unfair to Maina by saying you should withdraw the first question. That is not democracy. You see, democracy means the right to be heard. Huh? The politician who said that I may not agree with what you have to say, but I shall defend unto death your right to say it. That's what is the place for democracy. So the right to be heard. So let him be heard. Let him say whatever he wants to say. Atapike mpaka itoke kwa kifua chake. Ili ndiye apate afueni. Then in answer, we tell him that there are many ways in which of skinning a cat. And this, what you are asking, is not something that is new. There are several countries which have dealt with it. You need to know that for a long time in Europe, women did not even have vote. Women were never voting. This thing of voting by women in some countries is less than 50 years old. Even the United States. The last time is when we had a woman presidential candidate in the United States from a major political party. So it is an evolution. It's something that is moving on. And it's something, in my view, which is unstoppable. So we need just to look at the international best practice. Who is doing better? Like in Africa, now generally say that Rwanda is doing best in as far as gender inclusion is concerned. Now, what is it that Rwandans have done? You can look at it. And also here, it is not a question of just giving women seats. If you go to Burma's draft constitution, we had a solution to it. And that was arrived at after a very extensive discussion. We had what we call proportional representation. You can look at that. Because it cannot be fair that more than 50% of our population is underrepresented, and we live in the same society with them. And we know exactly why this has been the case. Right from the very beginning, how the system has been discriminating against women gender, the female gender in our society. You go back to traditional society, how it was, and how it has developed up to now. Women were never given opportunity for education, for example. When I was going to school, in a primary school, out of a class of 40, we had only 2 girls, 38 boys. The rest were not allowed to go to school. Yet women then were even more than men as it is today. So this disparity is something that is historical, and we must take some radical measures to deal with it. And no man should come and say, you are not giving them, doing them a favor. You are giving them something that is rightly theirs. I think that, but this is not just in terms of representation. It's in terms of, first I begin by girl child education. That must be promoted. That's when we begin to empower them. And there are very many factors that hinder women from coming up and catching up with their fellow menfolk, which must be addressed right from the beginning, including, for example, sanitary towels in schools and several other factors. So we need to address those issues so that the field is level for women and boys. And once they've now gotten the education, then deal again with this mindset of discrimination in terms of employment. Discrimination in employment is not only ethnic, it is also gender. So that also, because it's the same menfolk who are there, you'll find a panel of 5 people there interviewing, and you're lucky to get 1 woman among them. And they were looking more from the people from their tribe than the women, the only woman who is among 10 men being interviewed for the job. Then I come to the other one, Ndeta. Ndoto. Is Kenya a democracy or a dictatorship? Or the same thing. Even a dictatorship is a republic. Even Mobutu's Congo, which he renamed Zaire, was a republic, Democratic Republic of Congo. People's Democratic Republic of Korea. That is there. And so on and so forth. So the words can be used left, right, and center. Now, the thing is, Kenya is a country which is in transition. And it is a project which is actually being forged. Because you remember, we came from being a colony to being a nation state. And then we became a republic. But a republic, then we had one single party dictatorship. Then we brought in multipartyism. Then we now amended our new constitution. So you can say by incremental credits, we are moving, we are trying to improve our governance structure to move towards a full democratic system of governance. It is a process. It is not like an instant coffee, which you brew and drink at the same time. Democracy is a process. So we are on the way towards taking our country to democracy. First, you begin by ensuring that elections are free and fair, that people have an opportunity to elect the leaders that they want through the ballot box. You don't allow the computers to choose the leaders for them. That's what happens when you have the vifaranga vya kuku. And then you ensure that then you must have a democratic constitution, and ensure that democratic constitution is implemented. The institutions that are created through the Constitution are built and they are made to function properly. That is how you strengthen your democratic governance in a country. So I can say, in summary, that Kenya is a project in the making. So we keep on changing and trying to make it better and better as we move on. And that really is the essence of Building Bridges initiative. It's also an effort at trying to improve governance structure in our country. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. This then brings us to the close of this. Being 1 year down the line after handshake, we will all arise, do the national anthem. Hold on, this is housekeeping. And then the former Prime Minister will shake hands with at least the delegates who are from out there. They go with the handshake and tell them this is the new way of Kenya doing things. So the rest of you, if Prime Minister's got time, he will. But for now, let's all arise for our national anthem as our final item in our agenda. You all rise? Wageni kwanza tafadhali. Yes, pictures, pose for picture. International.
Mama yo, tunangi korovia. Mama yo, tunangi sando tuya. Mama yo, tunangi korovia. Mama yo, tunangi sando tuya. Oh mama ye, nyatika chimaria. Oh mama ye, tunangi sando tuya. Mama yo, tunangi korovia. Mama yo, tunangi sando tuya. Mama yo, tunangi korovia. Mama yo, tunangi sando tuya. Oh mama yo, nyatika chimaria. Oh mama yo, tunangi korovia. Yeah. The dance floor is open, ladies and gentlemen. You can dance along. Yeah.